Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Alright, so it's no mystery to anyone, Joe Biden's debate performance was abysmal. Even the clowns at MSNBC seemingly have no intention of sugarcoating it.
Okay, hold on a second. I agree with everything you said, except for the last part of it. Everybody calm down, and I'll tell you why. I mean, it's fine to not spin what happened last night, and we're not going to. Again,
by the way,
he had a terrible night.
Mika, everybody's calm here.
Even Mika Brzezinski said, we're not gonna try to spin it. Obviously, because you can't. The age-old Democrat tactic of telling us not to believe our lying eyes clearly no longer works, at least in this situation. And so, of course, what's the next step on the list? Let's go through the checklist. If delusion and dishonesty doesn't work, then simply go to option 2. It's now time to gaslight the public and move the goalposts. And that's exactly what Democrats are trying to do here. They're trying to change the conversation, but obviously it's not going to work. Let me show you guys exactly what I mean by that. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so the goalpost shifting has begun. Obviously Joe Biden didn't win the debate. Even CNN viewers were able to admit that fact, and so the Democrats have come up with their new strategy. You don't need skills and substance. No, just declare yourself the winner and claim that the other guy, well, he's a liar. And there we go, dust off your hands. Presidential election secured, I guess. Joe Biden said this.
Let me close with this. I know I'm not a young man. State the obvious. Well, I know. I don't walk as easy as I used to. I don't speak as smoothly as I used to. I don't debate as well as I used to. But I know what I do know. I know how to tell the truth. I know right from wrong. And I know how to do this job.
He's not so young anymore, not exactly great at debating, can't exactly walk or talk, but the other guy's a liar, and at least I'm not lying. Nancy Pelosi said the same thing.
Compared to a person who was lying the whole time, we saw integrity on one side and dishonesty on the other. That's how I saw it.
Every Democrat shill is saying the same thing, but there's only one problem with this talking point. Joe Biden isn't an all-virtuous truth teller, while Donald Trump was up there on the stage lying through his teeth. No, again, even as CNN very clearly pointed out, Joe Biden essentially lied the entire night.
To some of them, he said he's the only president in a while who didn't have any troops dying anywhere in the world. Troops have, of course, died on his watch. He said he's put in a $15 per shot cap on insulin and Medicare. It's a $35 a month cap. He said it's a $200 cap on overall drug spending in Medicare. It's $2,000 a year. He said the border now has fewer crossings than when Trump was in office. That's generally not true. He said, or at least strongly suggested, unemployment was at 15% when he took office. It was actually 6.4. He said Trump wants to get rid of Social Security. Trump doesn't. He said billionaires pay 8.2% in taxes. It's much higher. He said Trump told Americans to inject bleach amid COVID. We know Trump made foolish comments about scientists studying disinfectant injection, but didn't frame it as advice to people. And Biden said the Border Patrol endorsed him. No, its union supported the border bill he supported, never endorsed him himself.
We'll call that CNN's rapid-fire cannon fact check. And the craziest part is that it didn't even scratch the surface. They didn't go into all the nonsense conspiracies that Joe Biden was lying about. They didn't call him out on the very fine people on both sides hoax, or a couple other things that he mentioned. But either way, it puts it into clear perspective now, doesn't it? Joe Biden non-stop lied. And their chosen strategy here is to pretend as if he was all facts. Kind of hard to be an encyclopedia when you've got 1 kilobyte of storage capacity in your brain. How could Joe Biden know everything and provide all the facts on every topic when Joe Biden can't spell his name or tie his shoelaces? Joe Biden, a real facts-first guy. He always gets it right, except for when he's dealing with numbers. No, then he always gets it wrong. Not just historically.
Out of $1.6 trillion worth, $1.4 trillion. Out of $1.4 billion, $740 billion over 10 years.
And of course, during the debate as well.
We have 1,000 trillionaires in America. Billionaires in America. They've raised $500 million. $billion, I should say.
Yeah, I just have a hard time believing that this is the guy who's got all this relevant fact-based information right off the top of the dome. Ah, what a bunch of sore losers. They just can't accept the L. And so instead they're trying to shift the goalposts, or of course, feign moral outrage.
The decision to not fact-check
the fire hose of lies that is Donald Trump, that is the entirety of his existence and the entirety of his campaign, the decision to not fact check any one of those lies by CNN was one of the most immoral decisions in the history of the free press in this country. Literally, I am suggesting that at some point tonight, CNN should, it will not, go off the air in shame, fire everybody, seal off the buildings, make sure everybody's out, and burn the goddamn place to the ground.
Karen Olbermann is really mad. How dare CNN not fact-check Donald Trump? How dare they run rampant with his lies? Give me a break. CNN did fact-check Donald Trump. Many of their fact-checks I disagree with, and a lot of it is just kind of like Trump hyperbole, where he'll say a statement that's largely true, but he'll kind of embellish it, or he'll use a word like everybody agrees when really what he should have said is the majority. Both candidates said things that were untrue. I mean, it's politics after all. It's a debate. Not everybody has ChatGPT in the back of their brains. But the idea that Donald Trump was lying the entire night and CNN was somehow complicit in allowing him to lie, and that Joe Biden was just telling the truth the entire time but he couldn't keep up with all the lies, yeah, that narrative is bogus. Even Joe Biden's own Pentagon couldn't back up some of his claims.
Warren.
Just to be clear, was the president's statement incorrect?
Again, just not trying to get involved in campaign events or really go further on comments on the debate. If the president had more context, I'd refer you to the White House to speak to his comments. I think you and others have reported on some of the tragic losses of life that we have seen from service members, whether it be, as Phil referenced, in Jordan or in other places around the world. And you've seen this president express his deepest condolences to those families as well. So I would refer you to the White House for more.
Beating around the bush here. This is a question to the Pentagon.
Sure.
Has President Biden had service members die anywhere in the world during his time in office?
We, as you have reported on, we have certainly had service members pass during this administration.
Both candidates lied. Although I'd argue, like I said, I think Trump's lies mostly embellishing, mostly just exaggeration, hyperbole, Donald Trump being the salesman that he is, and then there's Joe Biden, who frickin' said stuff like this.
Do you ever hear any presidents say that I thought Hitler had some good ideas?
This guy platformed some seriously malicious, horrible mistruths and lies. We're talking big, slanderous statements, one after another. How dare CNN not fact-check Trump live during the debate? It's time for a reality check, leftoids. How dare CNN not fact-check Joe Biden in real time for his egregious, horrible claims? It's time to take the L on this one, Democrats. Enough postponing, enough delusion, enough denial. Just take the L, stop with the goalpost moving. Your candidate sucks. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.